So these days, people have been obsessed with the concept of glowing up and looks maxing. I've seen a surge of this, especially after Solo Leveling's anime and Sung Jin Woo's complete 180 transformation to a handsome, wealthy, ripped, stoic, powerful man versus his initial, more meek design and character. Many want to understandably replicate this, but there's something they are losing when trying to replicate this in real life. Yo dudes and dudettes, your fellow neighbor JaxBlade is back, and I've actually had my own fair share of glow-ups in my life, alright? From when I was in high school and I started to go to the weight room, started doing MMA, started playing sports and stuff like that, and then just seeing how the transformation affected my school years and how beneficial it was. But also when I was in college as well, when I was recovering from my shoulder injury, where I gained a bunch of weight from depression, and then I just steadily rebuilt myself there. And then also most recently when my pup passed away last year, and it put me in a very depressive state and I gained a bunch of weight. And so now I'm actually doing another glow up in a way, but I've talked about this all in depth on my Instagram and other stuff as well, and it's helping me with a new program. But apparently I've also helped a lot of y'all glow up as well, because I get a lot of DMs from y'all showing this is your progression, and it just warms my heart. And if you're new watching this, if you want to glow up yourself, check out this playlist. I just made it today to help everyone just hit those marks that'll just make you become a completely different person and just transform to a better self. But that leads to the topic of today's video. That last part I just said is something that every single one of us goes through, okay? Trying out new identities is just an integral part of growing up, right? You see something and you're like, I want to emulate that, and you absorb that personality as yourself, and then sometimes you can start to mask it as your own personality, all right? I feel like every single one of us has been there. I know for a fact I've been there. Here are some characters that I absolutely, when I saw them, I was like, I want to mimic that sort of thing for myself. Don't ask about the Michael Myers one, I'll talk about that during Halloween. But it is one of those things where you see these things and you're like, I'm just growing up. I'm trying to find out who I am. These are my developmental stages. And so it's oh, this is something I want to emulate, and I want to just do this and find out every way I can act like them, do all this stuff. However, there is a severe dark side that can sneak up on you if you are not careful. And growing up online, when you see people undergoing certain things, it's sort of oh, I've already played this level, so I played these games before, right? And it's very interesting because sometimes you'll have younger people who'll say oh, you don't understand anything like this. And I think this is something that millennials probably have a leg up on, say, Gen X or boomers about. And I don't mean this in a demeaning way or anything like that at all, but it's just I'm 34 years old, right? So MySpace, Facebook, that was when I was a teenager. And the difference between us compared to people above us is the fact that all right, back then, think of your parents, oh, your dad used to be wild, right? It's what do you talk about? There's no way my boomer dad was that wild. But then with us millennials, it's no, there is visual evidence, especially on MySpace or Facebook, where it's oh no, the way you're acting, I acted like that back in the day too. And it does just make the evaluative experience hit a lot deeper, because you can observe certain things oh, I understand why this person is doing this. For example, let's say your friend just has a glow up, he's gotten in shape, he's changed his clothes, he's changed all his entire aesthetic, right? And then he just starts acting Sung Jin Woo to you in your friend group and stuff like that. And it's just yeah, guys, how's it going? Different completely vibe to how he was before. And at first it's just yo, man, you looking fresh, man, you good? But if he's so stoic now that it feels hey, are you good, man? Are you chill? And it's oh, this is attractive to a bunch of new people who've never noticed your friend before. They've had the glow up and stuff like that, and they're just oh man, this person's so cool. How do you know him? Oh my God, he's so awesome. And then he starts attracting all these new friends who love this persona that he's developed for himself. It starts to wonder okay, are they attracted to the new him, or are they attracted to this new mask that he's putting up? And this is especially prevalent online, because there are people out there who from when they wake up, they are on their phone, to when they go to bed, they are still scrolling on the internet all day, every day, for every single hour of their life, that they start to conflate what is online to what is real life. All right, so they think oh, I know everything about this, and they think that social media is real life. It is not. I've mentioned this so many times before. It is illusion. There are guys I know that a lot of people idolize who are oh no, they never have a bad day in their life, who behind the scenes is oh, they're going through some stuff, but they don't post it because they want to appear everything is perfect. They make money, they got the hot body, all the girls just want to bang them and stuff like that. But again, it is an illusion to the thing out there, okay? And that's why I always say it's important to be able to get offline and disconnect, because if you think everything online you see is legit, that's not the case at all. A lot of people don't show you what is truly going on, and it would make sense why. Like, I don't want to be perceived in this sort of way. And to add on to that, the internet is a very hyperbolic place. I'm getting passionate now because this is the thing where everything they see is like either this or that. It's black and white, all right? There is nothing in between. They will not look in the in between. It's like I talked about in this video where I talked about how to stop nerfing yourself. So many people don't do this, and if you are able to do this, you will be above like the majority of the planet because they cannot do this. And it's something that can be so crucially, critically damaging to people, especially during their glow up. Because one of the things that happens a lot of is like, you'll see a lot of people saying like, you need to destroy every aspect of your old self, right? That old self of you needs to be completely obliterated, all right? Everything about it, gone. Every single thing, gone. And then you'll have the opposite side where it's like, no, you need to accept yourself. Anyone who doesn't accept you for this and that, you just need to be yourself, and you like, just like do this and sort of thing like that. And the thing that I always got to say is there is a severe lack of self-reflection that is important here. All right, so for example, that's why I always say go in the middle. Look right in the middle, right? Like take some genuine self-reflection and be like, okay, I don't like that I do this and this and this, but I want to modify myself. I want to improve my life. I want to better myself so that I can just become a better person for like, myself and the loved ones around me and stuff like that. Versus like, I want to just completely cull every little thing about myself that I'm some completely new person, but all the people who like were my loved ones or anything like that, or like, all the people you think aren't your loved ones or like you want to like make them your loved ones, it's like, no, they don't even recognize you anymore because you've changed every little bit of yourself. And that's the thing where I'm like, you have to be right in the middle. You have to be right in the freaking middle, because that's when you're able to go like, okay, I want to keep this, modify this, lose this, and do all this stuff. And that is a true glow up, because the thing about online, I'm getting so passionate about this right now, is full of overcompensation. There's so much overcompensation online, and it's doing so much damage to people's brains. And the thing is this, so many people do not understand that there is a difference between overcompensating and being truly secure in yourself. If you want to know how you're truly secure in yourself, you're just vibing, bro. You're just like relaxing. You're just like, you know what? I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you dislike me. I just know that I'm being true to myself, and this is who I am, all right? I'm just like literally the chill guy meme. You're just like literally just enjoying your life. If you're just like, yo man, look at me. I'm like a fit Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. No, you're the bitch and all this stuff like that. It's because that second one, it just gets so many clicks and views of just like, oh, I'm so hyperbolic, I'm so this way, if you're not doing this, whatever, and just gets a bunch of clicks, especially during people. And again, I do not mean this in a demeaning way at all, but there is a lot of people out there who are watching this stuff during their developmental years where their brain is still developing. They're still becoming who they are, or they're lost. They're trying to find something. They don't know who they are as people. And so they find like getting galvanized to acting this way will like, make them feel belonged and all this other stuff. And I want to say this right now to all y'all who watch this who are like this, you are not alone. I made an entire video to talk about that in depth, but y'all are not alone, and you don't have to do this sort of thing, because it's dangerous, because you can fall into groups of people where you become like a lackey friend, where you're just trying to be around people you don't even necessarily like just to fit in. You just want to do this stuff because you're lonely and you want to feel like beloved or feel some sense of like joy and passion and stuff like that, even if it's not organic. And that is going to bite you in the ass. It always does. I've seen this happen so many times over the course of my 34 years of life. I've even been one of the ones who like it's happened to, where it's like, oh God, I can't believe I let this happen to me. So I'm very passionate about this sort of stuff. That's why I'm so passionate about like, helping people avoid falling into that pit. But again, there's another thing. There's this level of evaluative experience you do get from it. And that's the thing, like sometimes pain and going through those painful experiences is the best teacher you will ever have, because it learns a lesson. You will learn. It's why like when I see people who are very young and they get like a lot of success, it's like, some people will feel like, envious or jealous or all this stuff like that. But there's a part of me now, like where I feel a bit of sympathy, because not only does a lot of success when you're younger, like astronomically boost your ego, especially if you don't have the proper people around you, but it will also just like, drain any sympathy points for like, you know, certain things in your life, right? So no matter what happens to you, like something like absolutely horrible could happen, and then like whenever you try to like, you know, post about it or something like that, people will just be like, oh, who fucking cares, all right? Like you're fucking this successful in this, like no one cares and stuff like that. And then the people you surrounded yourself with who were like only with you because of that sort of stuff, they'll start to side eye you like, why are you freaking out about that? Oh, I don't want to be around this guy at all. Like it's a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as time. I've seen this happen so many times before, and it's just one of those things where it did not need to happen this way. Like I had a conversation with someone who became very, very popular, and like they had like a fine ass girlfriend. I mean, fine. And like they had like all these like people around them, like where it's just like, oh man, like you look like you're a very popular person. But then he was saying like how he didn't feel like, oh, I don't really actually like them. They're just sort of here, like they're just sort of placeholders and stuff like that. But I feel like ashamed because it's like I worked so hard to get this and appear this way and get this new group of people, but I just don't feel comfortable around them. They're just sort of like, oh, status symbols. Like look at my hot girlfriend, look at the people I'm hanging with, look at all this stuff. And it's just like, all right, again, who are you living for? The appreciation of strangers or yourself? Because at the end of the day, the only person you have is that person in that mirror. So you better make sure they're having a good life that's beneficial to you. And there is a difference between changing your entire personality and just maturing. All right, like certain things you're just gonna like grow out of, all right? Like there's some things where it's just like, oh yeah, I used to act this way in elementary school, and then I changed in middle school, and then I changed in junior high, then I changed in high school, then I changed in college, and then I changed when I was like in my 20s, and now I changed as like a 30-year-old man, stuff like that, where it's just like naturally, you're gonna grow out of certain things, you're gonna mature, you're gonna have like different things about you. That's completely different than changing and putting on this mask and letting people fall in love with this mask that you've like, because you had this glow up, all right? That mask is just gonna eventually come off, and if you don't like, you know, take care of all this stuff at the start, you'll start to notice like this. Like again, it makes it so much better when you're able to just go like, no, I'm comfortable in myself, I'm secure in myself, I know what I'm doing, versus like, you know, trying to just be like, oh, I'm trying to be like this, blah, 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 that. But again, that's just a natural part of life. A lot of people have to experience these sort of things, but I got a lot more passionate than I expected, and this video has probably gone sideways, but I don't care. That's something I really think is so important, because I was just having this conversation about like how people have these glow ups and then they change everything about themselves and it just never goes their way. And it's just like, I don't want that to happen. I want fitness and health should be about enriching your life. It should not be about like, oh, putting on a freaking mask to like flex on people, when it's just like that shit at the end of the day really doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, transform yourself, get that glow up, and evolve your core essence to be better. But remember this, all right? Like, not everyone's gonna like you, just like you yourself don't like everyone. There's 8 billion plus people on the planet. It's impossible for every single person to, you know, like you. However, if you change and pretend to be like, oh, this isn't who I am, but I've attracted all these people, then at the end of the day, you won't even like yourself. And then what's even the point at that? It's just not worth it. If you made it this far in the video, type true glow up down below just to show who like watched all the way to the end. It turned into a bit of a passionate rant there more than I was intending. But also, if you like have any experience with this sort of stuff of like changing or trying to change your personality to like fit in or something like that, and then, you know, like found out like, oh, it didn't go your way, or like, you know, if you are doing it and stuff like that, like why you're trying to like maintain it and all this other stuff, like let us know in the comments down below. You're not alone. I want to make that perfectly clear. This is a place I want to like show people, again, fitness should be about benefiting your life for the better, not just like, you know, making you appear a certain way and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't mean that you're not any less badass or some shit like that. Like, again, bam, like, you know, lock out all those people who just like try to say that shit to you. But remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, moment time. Also, check out my free course I'm giving away in the pinned comment down below. And if you're interested in any online coaching from me, just check the description box. We can talk on Zoom and I'll help you there.